Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I am going to be reviewing the new Merit matte lipsticks. I bought this little set literally the moment it dropped. Okay, can we appreciate the elegance here? It's like this felt like material, and then you pop it open and you get 4 lipsticks in here. In case you didn't catch my shorts, the 4 colors you get in here is Classic, Power, Mason, and Thieves. I'm gonna be demoing and showing you all of the colors, and you can use my affiliate link in the description box below. I also have an affiliate links on my Instagram account that you can also use, and it really does help support my channel. You guys know I've been using Merit for a really long time, and I constantly recommend the products that I love. And if you spend $40 or more, you get free shipping. If you've never placed an order with them, all of your first orders will come with their signature makeup bag. So let's go ahead and get started. I have already prepped my skin with my Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. Love this stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply my Merit Complexion stick that you've seen me use a gazillion times on this channel in the shade Linen. And I kind of just swipe it across my face. This works as a concealer and foundation. I have combination to oily skin, and the dry down on this has like a very natural finish. It is not matte, it is not dewy, it's like right in the middle. And I'm gonna be using the Merit #1 brush to blend that all in. This foundation wears so well for a very long time. It is thin, it doesn't feel cakey, and as you wear it, it sinks into your skin beautifully, where it really just starts to look like your own skin. And although you're getting that coverage and you can build it up as much as you want, I'm okay with having some of my acne scars peek through. You guys know I'm fine with that. I find that it starts to sink into your skin, and it really just looks like part of your skin. And as somebody with combination oily skin, it does not break up around the nose or around the eyes, around the mouth. It wears really, really nicely. And I have a toddler, so she loves giving mommy hugs and kisses, and it's a solid. All right, moving right along to bronzer. I'm gonna use my Westman Atelier contour stick, and I'm just going to apply that just around the edges of my face. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go in with my Merit bronzer stick in the shade Clay. And just to give my skin a little warmth. And then just go ahead and blend that in. Next up, I'm going to use my blush in the color Stockholm. I have made quite the dent on this. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, don't mind my nails. I just did them. I paint my nails myself, and I know I didn't clean up the edges, and that's just because I'm a mom now and I'm pressed for time, so I film when I can. So just don't pay too much attention to that, you know? Mom's gotta do what they gotta do. I'm gonna go ahead and blend in my blush. This is like the perfect bubblegum pink. And I use these shades on my lips sometimes as well. But because we're gonna be featuring these lipsticks, we're not gonna do that today. You see, that's really pretty. And I thought it was a nice color to match with my shirt. And I find that these blushes, although they are dewy, when I combine it with their foundation stick, well, complexion stick, because it's not really a foundation stick, I find that it just really sinks into the foundation and my skin really well, where it doesn't remain too sticky and dewy. It's almost like my skin starts to soak it up slowly. Now, if I have tried this like with other foundations, and I do find that this will stay very dewy and kind of sticky if I use it with another foundation. So I don't know what the magic of the combination of these two are, but if you have combination to oily skin like I do, and you really like these and you really want to use these, but you don't want that dewiness to linger too long, use their complexion stick. Okay, now let's go ahead and apply some highlight. I have my Westman Atelier lipstick in the color Lit. This is a beautiful iridescent opal shade. This is one of my favorite shades from the line, and I think I'm gonna be getting a full size during the Sephora sale that's coming up in April. Okay. Next up, we are going to apply some eyeshadow. And I'm going to apply Glacé. This is that limited edition holiday shade they came out with. It is an absolute stunner. Let me swatch this for you guys. You can wear this alone or as a topper shade. I hope they not only bring this back and make it part of the permanent line, but I hope that they come out with a whole array of colors. By the way, because I also like to show you, I love their packaging for this. It is so good because since this is like a soft matte formula, I'm just gonna apply this with my fingers. I find that the clicking mechanism of the cases do a really good job at keeping the oxygen out, which makes the product last a lot longer. And you've seen me use the single shadows a ton of times. I think the shades I use most on this channel is Social and Studio. But for today's look, I wanted to use this one because I haven't featured this one in a long time, and I know a lot of you picked this color up. So take it out. Spring is in the air. Next up, I'm applying some of my Westman Atelier eyeliner, and this is in the brown shade. And I'm just gonna tightline the outskirt of my eye, like the outer portion of my eye. I'm gonna use the Westman Atelier brow pencil in the color Bark, and I'm just going to put just a little bit on my brows just to give them a little bit of life. Also, can Merit bring back these amazing mirrors? Because I want to give one to my mom and my mother-in-law. Just saying. I feel like everybody loves these Merit mirrors. Every time, I think they launched it twice, and it was like a free gift with I think it's like a $75 or more purchase, and they sell out every time they launch. And I was only able to snag one the last time they were available. Anywho, I'm applying some of my Merit brow gel in the color Neutral. And this is like their clear shade. I like their brow gel because it gives you a very soft and natural hold. So it doesn't make your eyebrow hair crunchy. You know what I'm talking about? It's really nice. Another thing I really like about their products is that, I'm applying some mascara, that they just work well with other makeup products. So you don't have to use every single product from the Merit line in order to create a cohesive look. You can pick and choose your favorites and combine them with other makeup products that you already have in your collection, and they play well with others. Honestly, this is why I just continue to purchase them over and over again, because there are certain things that they have that I love. And one of those things is this mascara. You guys have heard me rave about this mascara 50,000 times on this channel. I don't like tubing mascaras. This is a tubing mascara. It ages so well. It doesn't dry out in the tube. It lasts a really long time. It doesn't smudge. And you know what the kicker is? It's super easy to take off. So easy to take off that I didn't realize I was using a tubing mascara until I had to read about it, because I actually want to see if they had more colors, like if they had a brown shade. And that's when I realized, like, right, I think it's like the first line in the description said that it was a tubing mascara. And I did a double take. I was like, no. Yes, it is. It is a tubing mascara. It doesn't come off like a tubing mascara though. It is very gentle on the lashes and it's very easy to take off. And this is a formula that the older it gets, the better it looks. You can get every single drop out of this bottle because I promise you it just lasts so long that by the time you reach the end, you realize, like, I've had this long enough to know that I've reached, it served its purpose. I've gotten every penny out of this mascara. And you know how there are signs that your mascara is old and you need to change it, like it starts to flake, it doesn't apply well. Okay, well, with this mascara, you only know that you've reached this end and it's time to change it because there's nothing else left in the tube. This doesn't flake. It's not gonna flake as it gets older. It's not going to smudge or get crusty. I'm telling you, the formula just gets better and better with age. So I highly recommend their mascara if you haven't picked it up. Let's talk about these lipsticks. So I'm going to demo them from lightest to darkest. And we are gonna start off with the color Classic. And this is, oh, let me just show you these beautiful lipstick cases. So contrary to their original satin lipsticks that come in the brown tube, these are in a black tube. I love that because you're gonna be able to clearly see what finish you're picking in your makeup bag. So Classic is described as a neutral. We have a swatch of the color Classic. This formula is very comfortable. It's very thin. It's not going to dry out your lips. But what I like about it is the exact same thing I like about their original signature lipstick line, is that you can choose to have a wash of color or you can build it up. So if you want a lighter application, you can just do one swipe and have it be like a little wash of color, or you can build it up to whatever opacity you choose. This is not going to crease. It is not going to become crusty. You are not gonna get weird accumulation on the corner of the mouth that sometimes lipstick formulas do that. and you're not gonna get a crusty film on the inner part of your lips, which we all know that some matte formulas can do. So here's that color up close. Now let's move on to the next shade in here, Antibes. And this is described as a soft peach. Here's that color swatched. And here's that color on the lips. I find this to be a beautiful, soft terracotta shade with that hint of peach. I love the undertone of this lipstick. Next up, we have Mason. Mason is described as a mauve. But I find this one to be more of a deeper mauve, but it is beautiful. And last but not least is the color Power, which I think is a nod to Catherine Powers, founder of Merit. And this is described as a cool red. And for those of you who have been following me for a really long time, you guys know I'm really picky with my reds. And most of the reds that I choose to wear and I gravitate towards are reds that are cool tones and that have a blue base undertone. And this really does check the box for me. It has a slight blue undertone and it is definitely a cool toned red. And here she is in all her glory. This red reminds me of my grandmother. My grandmother had a very specific red that she wore, and this was it. And when I tried this on, it just immediately makes me think of her. So I know that I will be getting so much use out of this lipstick. Merit did send over two lipsticks after I had already bought the Cough Red. They sent me Power and Classic, which happens to be my two favorite shades in the Cough Red. But the reason why I recommend picking up the set is because it's discounted. Like, their sets are already discounted. All of the colors that they chose for this little set is absolutely stunning. You get a little bit of everything. And I find that it doesn't matter what skin tone you have, these lipsticks are gonna work for you. I think that Merit put in a lot of thought into the undertones chosen into their lipsticks and what lipsticks they chose for the set. This case is substantial. It is lovely. On the back, you have a list of the colors you get and their finishes, you know, like their undertones. It'll tell you it's a neutral or cool red or whatnot. This is a limited edition set, so if you're able to get your hands on it, I highly, highly recommend it. By the way, thank you, Merit, for sending me 2 lipsticks, because these are definitely my favorite and I will be using them a ton. I find this formula to be super, super comfortable. It does not, if you have a lot of fine lines on your lips, it's not gonna sink in. It has this like blurring effect almost, as you can see. I have quite a few lines on my lips. And by the way, I get a lot of questions. I don't get filler on my lips. This was a genetic trait from my grandmother. But I do have a lot of like wrinkles and creases in my lips. And one of the problems I usually have with matte formulas is that they will break up and sink into my lines as time goes on. That doesn't happen with these. These apply, you feel like you're applying a satin lipstick. It's very unique, but the finish is definitely a matte finish. And it's really, really comfortable to the point that it feels like you have nothing on. And that is very hard to do with a matte lipstick. Matte lipsticks tend to dry out your lips, and you definitely know you have a matte lipstick on after like an hour or two when you start to feel like your lips are getting crusty. It doesn't do that. This formula wears really, really well. You're not gonna get patchiness. As you're eating, you are gonna start to see that the color starts to wear off, obviously because you are eating and you're drinking, but it won't become patchy and weird, if you know, if you understand what I'm saying. The formula is really, really good, and I highly, highly recommend these lipsticks. I have been testing them out, and I've been able to test this out in colder weather and in very hot, humid weather here in Florida. And I find these to be super, super comfortable. Again, take what I say with a grain of salt, because I do know that I have a very specific skin type. I have combination to oily skin, and I find that oily skin girls are not the majority. I feel like we're kind of the minority. And so a matte lipstick may not affect us as much as people with really dry skin. So for me, this worked out for me. I really, really like this formula. Your climate also makes a difference, because Florida, even on its cold days, although it's drier, we still have a higher humidity level than other states. And I find that this performed really well in our winters and our really hot season, because in Florida, although you can be in the winter season, all of a sudden you wake up and it could be like 90 degrees outside. They don't bleed at all. So I don't have to wear any kind of lip liner with this lipstick, and it's just a solid. I like them just as much as I like my signature lipsticks. So I'm probably gonna be purchasing more colors. I have my eye on the brown shade that has that deep chocolate undertone. You guys know I love my Falcon lip oil, and it's just telling me that this is gonna be the perfect combination. And so I think that's gonna be like the next shade that I'm gonna pick up. Lastly, fragrance of the day is gonna be Queens and Monsters by Henry Rose. You know what I feel would be an amazing collaboration for 2024? Merit and Henry Rose, and Merit and Westman Atelier. Anybody else? Or we can make this absolutely crazy and have a collaboration between Merit, Westman Atelier, and Henry Rose. Like, I feel we can make the perfect curated set for these three brands. Anybody else? Anybody else? Because I've been saying this for years. I want a collaboration between these clean beauty brands. I digress. All right, you guys, that completes this video. If you want to see more up close swatches of products, you can follow me on Instagram. Also, don't forget to shop my link in the description box below. It would really help support my channel, and I really do appreciate it. I also have an affiliate link for the Henry Rose fragrances, so you can use that. You'll see it in the description box below. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you next time. Bye.